Thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
Hi. Hi, Darlene. Good morning. Hey, Amy. Hey, Nick. How's everyone doing today? Is that Carmela? Hi, Carm. Hi. I see your hair, your bun in the camera. Any requests today? I'm going to unmute you for a moment.
Go easy on my legs.
Go easy.
Yeah. Ooh, this is.
Hold
on 1 second. Oh, why did it come?
Hi. Sorry. I didn't mean to shock everyone. Go easy on your legs. Okay. Amy, any requests?
More shoulder stands.
Okay. All right, we'll do shoulders. All right, let's start at the top of the mat, feet together, legs together. Again, Tuesday, I've got to run right to work, so I am going to close up the meeting once we're done with class, and just you'll take your Shavasana independently. Yay. And my commute has gotten way more fun now that everyone's going back out, so I got to roll. Top of the mat, feet together, legs together. I'm going to mute everyone. Big toe stretch, gentle gap between the heel. Bring hands to heart center. Thumbs unite with the midline. Setting an intention, honoring it with your practice. Inhale, lift the heart. Bow the head. Next, inhale, fill the lungs. Sweep the hands up towards the sky, all the way up. Exhale, forward fold, release, all the way down. Inhale, look forward, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale again, look forward, flat back. Lengthening the spine, hands to the outer edges of the calves. Exhale, fold. We'll move right into Shiva Namaskar. Inhale, look forward, flat back. Exhale, step the right leg all the way back. Drop the right knee down to the earth, untuck the toes, sweep the hands up towards the thigh or to the sky. No pain or strain, we're still early in the practice. If you're feeling any tweaking, bring those hands back down to the earth. Draw the belly in, frame out that left foot, step back to plank. Lowering, knees, chest, chin. Slide through, Cobra Pose. Tops of feet to mat, heart forward and through. Push back, downward facing, press back. Right heel reaches up towards the sky. Toes to the mat, heel kicks towards the back wall, bring knee to nose, hollow out the belly, roll forward. Place that right foot inside of the right hand, finding crescent. Drop the back knee down to the earth. Hands sweep up towards the sky on the inhalations. Exhalation, frame out that right foot, little baby hop, bring the left foot to meet the right top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep the hands up towards the sky, find a back bend. Use that inhale to lift and elevate the breastbone. Go back, further back, belly in. Come back through center all the way back down. Float all the way down. Inhale, look forward, flat back. Exhale, step the left leg all the way back. Drop the left knee, untuck the toes, sweep the hands to the thigh or to the sky. Big inhale. Exhale, frame out that right foot, step back to plank. We're meaning to get the heart rate elevated. So moving with the breath. Exhale, lowers you. Inhale, slides you through. Exhale, pushes you back. Left heel up towards the sky. Toes to the mat, heel kicks towards the back wall. Bring knee to nose, hollow out the belly, roll forward. Make connection. Plant that left foot to the inside of the left hand. Drop the back knee. Seal the shin. Sweep the hands up towards the sky. Remember, draw the belly in. We want to protect the spine while protecting the hips. Frame out that left foot. Little baby hop, bring the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, press through the feet. Sweep the hands up. Palms press at the top. Gaze up, look up, go up, further up. Palms pressing. Now drop the thumbs to the nape of the neck. Elbows flare out towards the left and right sides. Lift through the occipital. Pull those elbows towards the back two corners of your mat. Chest up, hips forward, weight into the heels. Inhale, back up through center. Release the hands. Forward fold, come all the way down. Second set, inhale, look forward. Exhale, right leg all the way back. Drop the right knee. Hands sweep up, inhale. Exhale, frame out that left foot. Step back. Use the entirety of that exhale to step you back and to lower the chest, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Slide through. Fill the lungs. Exhale. Push back. Downward facing. Right heel reaches up towards the sky. Toes to the mat. Bring knee to nose. Hollow out the belly. Roll forward. Plant the right foot inside of that right hand. Drop the back knee. Sweep the hands up towards the sky or to the thigh. Frame out the right foot. Little baby hop. Bring the left foot to meet the right. Inhale, press through the feet. Sweep the hands up towards the heavens. All the way up. Palms press. Thumbs drop to the nape of the neck. Second set. Find the back bend. Elevate out of the hips. Weight into the heels. Toes are light. Release the hands up towards the sky. Forward fold. Come all the way down. Last side. Inhale. Look forward. Left leg all the way back. Exhale. Inhale. Hands to the sky. Exhale. Frame out that right foot. Step back to plank. Use the exhale for the step back and the lowering. Sliding through. Push back. Downward facing. Left heel reaches up towards the sky. Toes to the mat. Heel kicks towards the back wall. Bring that right knee to left knee to nose. Hollow out the belly. Roll forward. Plant the foot inside of the left hand. Drop the knee. Inhale. Sweep the hands. Exhale. Frame out the foot. Little baby hop. Right foot meets left. Top of the mat. Fold. Open up the feet. Hips width distance. Two baby fists measuring. Finding Padangusthasana or Padahastasana. Yogi toe lock or hands underneath the foot. Your choice. But remember, abdomen to thigh connection. Nick, can you flare the heels a little bit more? There we go. Good. Got it. Elbows pulled to the left and right sides of your mat. If you have hand to foot pose, elbows pulled to the top two corners of your mat. Let the head drop. Pluck the shoulders away from the ears. Using the 8 pounds of your skull to traction you into the neck as you roll the seat up towards the sky. Spiral a little bit more. Spin the hips up a little bit more. Gently release. Walk the feet back to touch. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep the hands up towards the sky, palms press at the top, gaze up, find the back bend, go back, further back, more back. Remember, flare the heels to give you a little bit of a deeper, safer back bend. Go back, further back, more back. Belly in, come back through center, wrap the right arm underneath the left, moving into eagle bind through the arms. Palms press, now send the elbows forward, send the forearms forward, triceps parallel to the earth. Back of the neck is long, chin parallel. There we go, good. To the chest. Spread the left toes wide, pull the right knee into the chest. Holding here. Right toes up towards the ceiling. Remember, keep that foot actively flexed. Now send it back behind you, finding that crescent lunge, landing onto the ball of the back foot. Keep the hands bound. Drop the back knee, let it slowly descend. Untuck the toes. Now find the back bend, pointing the fingertips towards the back corner of your mat as you lift those triceps off of the chest. Squeeze the inner thighs tightly. Keep the back of the neck long. Go back, further back, more back. Now tucking into the chin, hollow the belly and bring the elbows to your belly button, all the while sinking the shin forward. Moving into a humbler variation of the pose. Tuck into the chin. Inhale, come back up through center, release the hands up towards the sky. All the way up, palms press, right hand forward, left hand back. Now rotation. Warming up the spine through a twist. Sweep the left hand down, forward, all the way around. Palms press at the top. Frame out that left foot, little baby hop, little step back. Take your vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Slide through. Exhale, push back, downward facing. Left heel reaches up towards the sky. Stack hip on top of hip, bend into the knee. Now finding that three-legged dog, pulling the kneecap up towards the ceiling, dropping that left shoulder down towards the earth. Now tucking knee into chin, roll forward, make connection. Plant the left foot inside of the left hand, find low lunge. Find crescent lunge, drop the back knee. Hands framing out that left foot. Sit the weight back, find half split. Tip the weight back. Right hip stacks over the right toes. Pull the left toes towards the nose. So ideally, depending on the availability of range in your hips, you should be able to flow from crescent lunge right into half split, where the right hip is stacked over the right knee. If you find that you're a little bit short and that hip starts to go past the knee, it just means that the hip's a little bit tighter, and that's fine. Inhale, press back into Crescent Lunge. Let the hip sink down towards the earth. Again, frame out that left foot, sit the weight back, find half split. Pulsing between these two poses, letting the belly fall over the thigh, shoulders away from the ears. Plug those shoulders back. Press back into Crescent Lunge. Sink into the shin. Last time, find that half split, sit the weight back. Moving in through it 3 times. Push back into crescent. Bend back into that knee. Roll those toes onto the earth. Tuck the right toes, little baby hop, find standing split, kick out. Now begin to walk the hands forward, tenting the hands along the mat, reaching towards the top left and right corners of your mat. Holding here. Pointing those right toes up towards the ceiling. Now float the right foot to meet the left. Open up the feet, hips width distance, moving into our second forward fold, choosing your variation. Everyone here has a beautiful practice. Choose what the body needs. Either hand to foot pose, maybe yogi toe lock, your choice. Belly to thigh, elbows pulled to the left and to the right. Let the head drop, let the head go. Shoulders away from the ears. Roll the seat up towards the ceiling. One more breath. Gently release, walk the feet back to touch. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep the hands up towards the sky. Palms touch at the top. And now the left arm binds underneath the right. We're moving right into the next side. Finding that eagle, pull the forearms away from the chest, elevating the triceps off the chest. Spread the right toes wide, pull the left knee into the chest. Flex those left toes. Creating strength here. Send the leg back behind you. Land softly into Crescent Lunge. So you're going to drop onto the ball of the foot, and then you're going to slowly lower that shin. Now find the back bend. Push down into that left shin as you take it up and over. You should feel this predominantly at the bottom of your rib cage, as though the belly and the ribs were separating. Tuck into the chin. Now hollow the belly. Bring elbow to belly button. Finding that compression. Pointing the fingertips forward, tuck into the chin. One more breath. Inhale, come all the way back up. Release the hands up towards the sky, palms press at the top. Left hand forward, right hand back. Open up the chest. Expanding the chest. Sinking deeper into that front knee. Holding here. Take that right hand up and over, cartwheel the hands, frame out the right foot. Use your vinyasa to build the heat. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Slide through. Push back, downward facing. Beautiful. Right heel reaches up towards the sky. Stack hip on top of hip, bend into the knee, pull that kneecap up towards the ceiling, drop that right shoulder down. Bring knee to nose, hollow out the belly, roll forward, make connection. Plant the right foot inside of the right hand. Drop the back knee down to the earth. Find that crescent lunge. Keep the hands framing out that right foot. And now moving through our pulsing half split, sit the weight back. Left hip stacks over the left knee. Extend the right heel forward. Pull the right toes back towards the nose. Plug the shoulders away from the ears and the heart forward. So Nick, if you roll your elbow pits forward a little bit more, the shoulders will release a little bit further away from the ears. There we go, good. Roll back into Crescent Lunge, placing that right foot onto the earth, sink deeply into that front knee. Sliding the ribs up the thigh. Exhale, sit back, half split. Pulling the toes towards the nose. Keeping the back of the neck long. Last time, press forward, find crescent. Planting the foot onto the earth. Heart forward. Push back, half split. Last half split. Remember, you want to energize your right heel down into the earth while pulling the right toes back towards the nose. So you're finding that really strong connection between heel and earth. You should be shaking a little bit. Not only does this open up hamstring, but it strengthens it. Place the right toes onto the earth. Tuck the left toes standing, split, kick up, lift up, further up, higher up. Work the crown down towards the ground. Point those left toes up towards the ceiling. Walk the hands out towards the top two corners of your mat. Kick up a little bit more. Lengthen the belly down a little bit more. Now float that left foot to meet the right. Scoop up the heels from behind. Padahastasana from behind. Abdomen to thigh, third forward fold. So you should have a little more range from when you first started. Squeezing those forearms tightly against towards one another. Holding here. Let the head drop. Shoulders away from the ears. Can you pull yourself in these two opposite directions so much so that you can feel it behind your shoulder blades? One more. Gently release. Inhale, look forward, flat back. Exhale, hop, step, float. Take your vinyasa. Slide through. Exhale, push back, downward facing, in through the nose, out through the nose. Open up the hands, mats with distance. Cross dominant ankle over less, little baby hop, step, float right into boat pose, landing onto your seat. Extend the legs out in front of you. Squeeze the inner thighs, reach the hands forward. Good. So if you need to grab behind the hamstrings, by all means, but remember the shins are the boat, the hands are the water. Don't sink the boat. It's up to you. Yeah, so I like to point my toes. I find that that's really helpful. Gianna asked if you should point or flex the foot. I said it's up to you. The other's choice. One more breath. Slowly begin to lower all the way onto your spine. We're going to do a little bit of core work. So bring your legs at a 90-degree angle. Bend at the knees. Calves are parallel to the earth. If you need a little bit of guidance, Gianna's going to rotate here just to show you what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing Charlie Angel's core work. So you're going to interlock the fingers, release the pointer. Extend the hands out between the legs. There we go. Now you're going to lift the shoulders off of the mat, just to the tip of the shoulders. And you're going to hold here, and then you're going to lower down. Then come back up, point to the left. Lower back down. Come back up, point to the right. Lower down. Come back up, point to center. Lower down to the left. And now we'll all do it together. So starting position. Again, interlocking those fingers. Lock out the arms. Let the shoulders rest onto the earth just for a minute. Now inhale, lift, point to the left. Pull that right shoulder across the back, across the side body. Lower back down. Right back up. Point it to the right. Lower back down. Point it to center. Separating the knees, point towards your toes. Extend, extend, extend. Lower back down. Point it to the left. Pull that right shoulder. Lower it down to the right. Pull the left shoulder. Lower it down to center. Lower down. Moving faster to the right. Lower down to the left. To center. To the right. To the left. Center. To the right. To the left. Center. To the right. To the right. To the right. To the right. To the left. To the left. Bring it to the left. Extend a little bit more. Lift that shoulder to the left. To the left. Back through your center. To the center. Lift up. Hold up. Belly down. Back down. Point. Flex those toes. And release. Lower down. Pull the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice little hug. Maybe making circles with those knees. And then from here, extend the legs up towards the sky. Bend the knees as much as you need to. I want the ankles stacked on top of those hips. Now reach the hands up towards the toes. Lift the shoulders off of the mat. Hold here. Hold here. Not grabbing onto the toes. You're just reaching for them. 10, 9, 8, 7. Get those shoulders off the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release down. Knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. Holding here. Rolling back up into boat pose. You can come to turn towards the face of the mat. Crossing out the ankles, catch a little momentum, hop, step, or float. Take your vinyasa. Using that back bend to declutter the front body. Redistribute the fire along the front body. Good. Right heel reaches up towards the sky. Stack hip on top of hip, bend into the knee. Pull that kneecap up towards the ceiling. Lift that kneecap up, bring knee to nose, hollow out the belly, roll forward, make connection. Tuck into the chin. Plant the right foot inside of the right hand. Find crescent lunge. Drop the back knee down to the earth. Hand sweep up towards the sky. All the way up. Palms press at the top. Gaze up. Look up. Further up. Find the back bend up. This time interlock the fingers. Release the pointer. Take it back. Further back. More back. Go back. Even further. Back up through center. Send the left hand forward. The right hand back. Find the twist. Find the rotation. Lift through the back of the neck. Holding here. Cartwheel the hands. Find half split, our last half split. If you have full split, now's your opportunity to move into it. Carrie, you're joining us a little late, so just play with half split. Don't be, I'm glad you're here. Wherever you're playing. If you're in that half split, your focus is on pushing that heel down as you pull the toes back towards the nose. Plug the shoulders away from the ears. Pinch the shoulder blades gently across the back body. Keeping the chest long and broad. One more breath. Relax the jaw. Sometimes a good yawn will help to open up those hips. What? Full split, work your way back up, meeting half split. Everyone come back into crescent lunge, planting those right toes onto the earth. And now we're gonna open up into the inner edge of that right hip a little bit more. Swing the left foot so it's parallel with the back of the mat. Left shin towards the back of the mat. Right hand walks into the right hip. I'm obsessed with this twist. Let's do a little alignment check. Make sure your right heel is in line with your left knee. Good. And now if your knee tracks past your toes, you're gonna walk that front foot forward. Left hand grabs onto the hip, right hand grabs onto the hip. And now begin to sink that right shin forward. The idea is you're gonna eventually roll onto the inner edge of that right knee. This will work you into your side straddle. So press your right hip forward a little bit more. There we go, good. But no pain. Take the left hand up and over past the ear towards the right side of the room. For some of you, this might light you on fire. For some of you, this might just feel really yummy. Depends on what kind of day you're having. One more breath. Come back up through center. Come back to the front of the mat. Cartwheel the hands, frame out that right foot, tuck the left toes, kick up, standing split, lift up. This time, I want you to begin to walk your fingertips towards the back edge of the mat. Working the third eye one day to connect to that shin. Kick up those left toes a little bit more. One more breath. Drop the head down. Float the left foot to meet the right. Inhale, look forward, flat back. Exhale, hop, step, float. Take your vinyasa. Nice. Nice. Landing softly. Pushing back, downward facing. Left heel reaches up towards the sky. Stack hip on top of hip, bend into the knee. Pull that kneecap up towards the ceiling. Bring knee to nose, hollow out the belly. Tuck into the chin. Bring that knee to the nose. You can do it, Nick, I see you. Plant the left foot inside of the left hand. Drop the back knee down to the earth. We're finding the back bend. Sweep the hands up towards the sky. Interlocking the fingers, releasing the pointer. Spiral the outer edges of your armpits forward, gaze up, look up, point the fingertips up and back, squeezing those inner thighs. Imagine one day you're going to take your fingertips and grab onto your right heel behind you. Doesn't have to be today. Go back, further back, more back. Belly tight to spine, come all the way back up through center, right hand forward, left hand back. Open up the chest. Find that spin. One more breath. Cartwheel the hands, swing that left hand up and over. half split or full split. Here's your opportunity. Taking whichever pose you'd like to play with. That's like much more closed. It's like
I was just
no.
thinking, I was like, I never thought I'd see the day where I couldn't get a switch in.
Oh.
It's okay.
Well, the other side's on point. Pulling those toes back towards the nose. Again, relaxing the jaw. Your jawline has a direct relationship to your hips. If you're clenching through the jaw, your hip structure, which is meant to protect you, will tighten as an adrenaline response. One more breath. Full split, you're going to work your way back up by bringing the back leg forward. And then everyone push back into Crescent Lunge. We're going to move into that little hip opener. I don't know what it's called. I guess it would be Ardha Sandasana. Parallel the right shin with the back edge of your mat. Bring the hands to the hips. Doing a little alignment check. Make sure that left heel is in line with the right knee. Now sink the shin forward. Rolling onto the inner edge of that right thigh. Make sure that foot remains attached to the earth. Good. Now staying right here, no pain, no strain. Taking the right hand up and over towards the top left corner of your mat. Finding a little more rotation. And again, for some of you, this might light you up, or it might just feel really nice. One more breath. Come back through center. Cartwheel the hands, frame out that left foot. Swivel the right foot to face towards the back of the room. Find standing split. Kick up. Lift up. Further up. Tenting the hands, pointing them towards the back edge of your mat, and then walking them back. As you walk them back, notice how the leg will lift and the body will fall. Point those toes. Spin the inner thigh. Drop the head down. Holding here. One more. Gently float the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, look forward, flat back. Exhale, hop, step, float, take your vinyasa. Slide through. Push back, downward facing, in through the nose, out through the nose. Right heel reaches up towards the sky. Stack hip on top of hip, bend into the knee, pull that kneecap up towards the ceiling, bring knee to nose, hollow out the belly, roll forward, make connection. Moving into our last Crescent Lunge, drop the right foot inside of that right hand. Untuck the toes. Sweep the hands up towards the sky. Find the back bend, gaze up, further up, go up, more up. Come back through center, and now this time open the arms up to T. Broadening through the chest, reach the chest forward as you draw the backs of the hands towards the wall behind you. Let the head drop back, and notice how the scapula will then fall down the back body. That's fine. Pinkies will gently roll up. Warming up the shoulder yet a little bit more. Sweep the hands down, forward all the way around. Palms pressed, left hand forward, right hand back. Rotation. Everything we've moved into. Find that twist. Sweep the right hand down, forward all the way around. Palms press, and now tuck into the chin, hollow the belly, round forward. Humble the pose. Bow. Tuck into the chin a little bit more. Fingertips pressing the front of the mat away. Sink deeper into that front knee. I want the third eye attached to the knee so that you're engaging and firing up that thyroid. Inhale, come all the way back up. Palms pressed. Now tuck the back toes. Lift that right leg off the mat. High lunge. Warrior two. Arms to T. Beautiful. Sink deeper into that front knee. Now straighten the front leg. We're moving into a set of goddess pose. You can shorten the stance if you'd like, but turn the left heel in, turn the right heel in. The knees are going to rotate out. Again, this is going to deepen on what we did for that stretch, that hip stretch. Now begin to bend into the knee. Your hands can fall along the inner thighs if necessary. Make sure your heels are on the earth to start because I want you to get a nice opening through that hip structure. If you have it, you can bring the arms to cactus. Maybe even finding a prana mudra to complete the pose. And if you have it, lift up onto big and second toe. But notice if the knees collapse in. I want the knees as though you were standing flush against a wall. Sink down a little bit more. Sink down a little bit more. Hold here. One more breath. Drop the heels down to the earth, turn the toes in, kick the heels out, straighten through the legs, and forward fold, release all the way down. Maybe grabbing onto the outer edges of the foot. Rolling the bottom of the seat up towards the sky. Keeping the back of the neck long. One more breath. Find the hands. Rotate the right toes to face towards the front of the room. Frame out that right foot, step back to plank. Take your vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Slide through. Exhale, push back, downward facing. Left heel reaches up towards the side. Stack hip on top of hip, moving into our last crescent lunge. Bring knee to nose, hollow out the belly, roll forward, make connection, tuck into the chin. Plant that left foot to the inside of the left hand, drop the back knee down to the earth. Untuck the toes, sweep the hands up towards the sky, all the way up. Palms press, interlock fingers, release pointer, find the back bend, go back, further back, more back. Belly tighten to spine, arms open up to T, like a bird flying. Chest broad, let the head drop back, let the throat open. Roll the pinkies up, the thumbs gently roll back. Sweep those hands down, forward, all the way around. Palms touch at the top. Find the twist, right hand forward, left hand back. Open up the chest. Find that rotation. Sweep that left hand down, forward, all the way around. Palms touch at the top. Now find the flexion. Tuck into the chin, hollow the belly, round forward. Third eye to knee. Pushing the front of the mat away. Lifting the ribs off the thigh, finding that separation. The back of the neck is long. One more breath. Inhale, come all the way back up. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back leg off the mat. Moving into high lunge. So if you have to shorten the stance, that's fine. If you're having difficulty with balance, drop that back foot parallel. Find warrior two. Sink deeper into that front knee. Excellent. Straighten through that front leg. Now moving into our second set of goddess pose. Turn the left heel in, the right toes out. Sink deeper into those front knees. Again, the hands can start at the inner thigh. So as the hands are in the inner thigh, as you bend the knees, they're gently going to coax that external rotation. Chest is broad, belly is in, bottom of the seat has weights attached to it, pulling it down towards the earth. And if you have it, maybe cactusing the arms. And if you have it, lifting up onto big and second toe. Without the knees collapsing in, keep those knees rotating out. Holding here. One more breath. Sink a little bit deeper. As soon as you drop the heels, turn the toes in, kick the heels out, straighten through those legs. Chest up, forward fold, second set. Finding that pelvic flexion. Closing off gap between belly and thigh. If you'd like to grab behind the heels. If you'd like to reach the hands forward. If you'd like to reach the hands back. Here's a little challenge I'll offer you if you'd like to play with it. Placing the forearms onto the earth, we're going to move into a variation of Pike forearm stand. What you're going to do if the forearms are on the earth is tip the weight towards the right toes, lift the left toes off the mat, keep the forearm attached to the earth, both if you're able to, yeah. both forearms. Lift that left leg up towards the sky. If you're able to lift those left toes. Yeah, there we go. Up. That's it. If that's not your jam, see it, Tara? So your forearms are on the earth and you're lifting the left toes off the earth. I'm very lucky to have such a very flexible assistant because I could never do that. Lower the left foot down to the earth. So another variation you're more than welcome to, and Gianna was about to come into it, you can also lift up onto the right fingertips, bringing that hand to the earth, the elbow up towards the sky. As you roll onto now the right toes, left toes, point the right toes up towards the ceiling. Just a variation to play with. There, Nick, good. Now roll the weight onto that left foot. Lift just the right toe. That's it. That's excellent. That's good. That's the first step. Good. One more breath. Yes. Lower down. Pivot the hands, frame out that left foot, step back to plank, take your vinyasa. Lower knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Got a little funky there. Slide through. Exhale, push back, downward facing. In through the nose, out through the nose. Drop the knees to child's pose. Let's open up the shoulders a little bit more before we play with our inversion practice a little bit later. Slide the nose and the chest along the mat, extend the legs out behind you. Move the arms out to T. My favorite stretch ever. Palms pressed, roll the shoulders onto the earth. For those of you who've practiced with me before, which all of you have, you know this pose. Push down into that left hand, lift up onto the right fingertips, walk those right fingertips towards the right side of the body as you roll onto the left. Remember, not moving quickly, we're moving with intention. If you'd like to bend up both knees, you're more than welcome to. Fun little variation I did a few weeks ago. If you have half lotus variation, Nick, I think you have it. You're more than welcome to play with it. So you would bend up that left knee, bring the left foot into the inner edge of the right hip point. Yep. One more breath. Lower back down. Releasing if you have. Not plopping onto the earth, just land softly onto the chest. Extend that right hand and now lift up onto the left fingertips right into the next side, rolling onto that right shoulder. Reach the left hand out towards the sky. If you want to bend up both knees, you're more than welcome. If you want to bend up one knee, you're more than welcome. Just finding that opening through the shoulder. Let the head drop, not carrying the weight of that neck. One more breath. Lower back down onto the earth. Slowly. And now draw your wings in. Bring the hands to the top of your mat. I want you to parallel the right forearm with the front edge of your mat. Push down into that arm to lift the chest up. Roll the shoulder on the right side back. Now bend up the right knee, bend up the right foot. With the left hand, catch an outside grip on the foot. Pushing down into that right forearm, begin to kick now the right heel away from the seat. If you'd like to deepen into the pose, you can begin to push down into the right palm and extend the elbow off of the earth. There we go. Pointed. Yeah, pointed. If you're able, bring the toes to the top of the head. Doesn't have to be today. Kick that heel a little bit more. Get the right thigh off of the earth. Kick a little bit more, drive a little bit more. Gently release down, lower down. Now bring the left forearm parallel with the front of the mat. Extend the legs out, bend up the left knee. Catch an outside grip on that left foot with the right hand. And now begin to kick. The goal is to get the thigh off of the earth. So focus on pulling that left thigh off the earth as you roll the right shoulder back. And if you like, begin to extend, pressing through that left palm, extending through that left arm. It might not be in the practice today, that's fine. Let the head drop back, let the eyes remain open. Point the toes in the direction that you want them to go. Kick a little bit more. One more breath. Gently release down, lower down. Bend up both knees and gently windshield wiper them from side to side, back and forth, back and forth. Stopping back at the middle. Sweep the arms back, catch an outside grip on the feet. Now moving into full Urdhva Dhanurasana. Squeezing the knees towards one another as best you can. If you need a separation, that's fine. Exhale everything out. Inhale, kick up. Lift up. Further up. Higher up. More up. All the way up. Lift up a little bit more. Throat open. And release. Lower down. Hands to the front of the mat. Push back. Find happy child's pose. Releasing the lower back. And now let's move into our first dolphin pose. Press down into the forearms. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips up towards the sky. So this will build into our forearm stand. You want the shoulders to push away from the ears, so press down into the mat beneath you. Fingertips spread wide, draw the ribs in, knit those ribs in. Reach the right heel up towards the sky. Point those right toes. So we did split, full split, half split, standing split. The split is the key to an inversion practice. The more you're able to get that right foot up towards the ceiling, the easier the inversion practice. Maybe lifting through that right foot so much so that you're on those left toes. Lift up, higher up, more up. Lower the right leg down to the earth. Beautiful. Now point the left toes. Lift the left leg. Roll those left toes up towards the sky. Let that pull, that lift through those the left side of the body. Pull the right toes off the mat. Lift up, further up. Knit those ribs, Jean. There we go. One more breath. And release, lower down. Find again child's pose. Let the arms drape around the outer edges of your shins, your thighs, so that the shoulders get a nice little break. One more breath. Find the hands. Extend them forward, slide the nose and the chest along the mat, moving into our last little heated sequence. Find Cobra, find upward facing if you own it. Push back, downward facing. Right heel reaches up towards the sky. You should be warm enough by now. If you'd like to flip, by all means, take the flip. Here's the challenge. If you're flipping, maybe not dropping those right toes onto the earth, maybe instead letting them hover. Balancing. Flip back over, bring the right foot to the inside of the right hand, right into low lunge, right into warrior two. Arms open up to T. Second set of goddess pose. Straighten that front leg, turn the heels in, arms above the head, wrap the right arm underneath the left. So we're gonna do a little core work here through Eagle Goddess. Sink deeply into the front knee, into the knees, both of them. Tuck the tailbone, one of the few times I'll tell you to do it, bottom of the seat down. And now find the back bend, draw the fingertips up and over the head. Exhale, hollow the belly, scoop out the belly, elbow to belly button. Tuck into the chin. Sink into the knees. Inhale, come all the way back up. Find the back bend. We're going to do 5 of these. So 1, 2. Exhale, hollow the belly. Tuck into the chin. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, hollow, number 3. Finding that compression, finding the balance. Inhale, come back up. 2 more. Exhale, hollow the belly, pinkies to the mat. Inhale, come all the way back up. Last one, hollow the belly, tuck into the chin. Find that rounding. Pull in a little bit tighter, squeeze a little bit more, sink into the knee a little bit more. Come all the way back up, release the hands up towards the sky. Cartwheel the hands inside of that right leg, pivot and roll onto the left toes, lizard pose. Rock from side to side, back and forth. And when you're ready, you can drop the back knee down to the earth. And you can sink into the pose. I'm going to give you the option here if you'd like a little more of a heated pose. You're ready for a little challenge. You're going to lower the left forearm onto the earth. Then you're going to keep that right hand at a 90-degree angle. Begin to place your right knee onto the top of the right tricep. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg. So we're moving into half. So tuck those back toes, lift that back leg. Now tip the weight forward. Point and lift the left toes off the mat. Finding the balance here. So it's a one-legged crow pose variation. Yes, good. So again, if you'd like to take a little peek, Gianna's moving into the pose. You're placing the right knee onto the tricep. That back leg is lifted right here. You're looking forward and you're beginning to lift those left toes if you're able. If not, little baby hops until you finally one day find your wings. There you go. Good. If not, stay in lizard pose. There's no force or rush to move you into a pose.
Should more of my weight be in the left arm or the right? Like, should
More
like
of your
if I
weight should be
lean
on the
too
right
much-
side. And again, using that applied concept of the standing split, the more you engage that left leg, the stronger you'll be through the pose. So tip the weight forward, hollow the belly, use that left glute. That's it. There you go. Good. Perfect. Perfect. One more breath. Find the hands. Tuck the back toes. Step back, find down dog, or find your vinyasa. Sliding through. Push back. Left heel reaches up towards the sky. Last heated sequence. Stack hip on top of hip. Bend into the knee. Pull that kneecap up. Bring knee to nose. Hollow out the belly. Roll forward. Make connection. Tuck into the chin. Send it back out. Stack hip on top of hip. Flip if you on the flip. Again, you should be warm enough by now. Landing soft. Lifting chest. Lifting up. Heart up. Further up. Flip back over. Bring the left foot to the inside of the left hand. Find low lunge. Find warrior two. Arms to T. Straighten through that front leg. Turn the heel in. Last set of 5 eagle crunches through goddess pose. Arms above the head. Left arm wraps underneath the right. Bind. Send the forearms forward. Sink deeply into that front knee. Flaring the knees out. Find the back bend. Take it up and over. Exhale. Hollow the belly. Tuck into the chin. Working elbow to belly button. Tuck into the chin. Playing with the balance. It's definitely balance. Inhale. Come all the way back up. One set. Exhale. Elbow to belly button. Tuck in. Inhale. Come all the way back up. Fill the lungs. Exhale again. Elbow to belly button. Tuck into the chin. Inhale. All the way back up. 2 more sets. Exhale. Inhale all the way back up. Last set. Exhale. Elbow to belly button. Release all the way back up. Cartwheel the hands inside of that left leg. Find lizard pose. Roll onto the ball of the back foot simultaneously as you're pivoting and rotating. And lower onto the forearms. Drop the back knee unless you're moving into the more heated one-legged crow pose variation. For the one-legged crow pose variation, you're going to place your right forearm onto the earth. The left palm is going to be on the earth. Left arm is at a 90-degree angle. There we go. Then you're going to place the left knee on top of the left tricep. Extend and lift that right leg off the mat. So you have to lift that right leg off the mat. And then you're going to tip the weight forward. Flying forward. Point the right toes up towards the sky. There it is. Good. Sometimes you eat your mat. Wherever you are, playing here. Right there. Yeah. So walk the hand back. Yeah, there we go. Good. That's it. Yep, that's it. Tip the weight. Point those right toes. No jump. Use the weight. Push into that right forearm. Push that shoulder back. Hollow the belly. Point the right toes. You've got it. Little commitment. There we go. Good. One more breath. Find the hands. Tuck the back toes. Step back. Find your vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Last vinyasa part for the practice. Push back, downward facing. Drop the knees, child's pose. We're going to play with our headstand inversion practice. Now, if a headstand's not your jam today, there is no pressure or expectation for you to come into it. Come all the way up to sit. Moving into a supported headstand, remember interlocking the fingers, webbing to webbing grip. Catching the very base of the neck. If this is not your jam, again, you're more than welcome to come into legs at a 90 or shoulder stand. Squeeze the elbows around the sides of the face. Not that tight. There we go. Yeah. You want them shoulders width distance. Now place the very top of your head onto the mat, the crown. Slide the pinkies down to the earth. Push down into the forearms, and you can stay right here. Remember, this is step one. You must build a foundation to build the entirety of the pose. So step one, you're here, pushing the shoulders away from the ears and pushing them back, hollowing the upper back, hollowing the belly. Finding that core engagement. This is shoulder work. This is belly work. The next step, lift the hips up towards the sky, tuck those toes. And begin to walk the toes in towards your elbow points. Again, no rush to move the pose any further along without a firm foundation. Make sure the foundation is strong. Next step, roll the very bottom of your butt cheeks up towards the sky. Lengthen the belly. And now let's come back to the theory of the standing split. I want you to lift one leg and point one leg up towards the ceiling. Now drive that leg as though you're in the standing split, as though I were grabbing you by the ankle and pulling you up towards the ceiling. So Carrie, that looks great, but you need to point the toes. Point them like a ballerina, even more so. Roll the toes into the ball mound of the foot. There we go. Finding that balance here. Yes, Amy, excellent. Don't jump. Instead, drive with the power of that left glute. Pull that left leg up towards the ceiling. Even more so, no bend. That's it. Good, good. Remember to push down into the shoulders. So as you push down into the shoulders, it will resonate as a lengthening through the belly, a lift through the hips. Point the toes up more. Extend up more. So carry that lifted leg. Now begin to roll onto the toes of that less lifted leg, of that non-lifted leg. Moving into child's pose. Everyone joining in child's pose. Coming back down onto the earth. Having no expectations for your practice. Just gratitude for what the body can do. Hands to the back of the neck and gently massage into the back of the neck. Maybe letting the hands slide down between the shoulder blades, applying a little gentle pressure. Whatever feels nice. Letting the belly roll up and over the thighs. Come all the way up to sit. Roll onto one side of the hip. We're going to move into one little last hip opener because we did get into outer hip pretty intently, inner hip intently. Moving into Baddha Konasana, bring the soles of the feet to touch. Oh. Let the knees fall down towards the earth. Again, if your knees close up, walk the heel a little bit further away from your seat. Sweep the hands up towards the sky. First variation will be flat back. Interlock the fingers. Slide the hands underneath the pinky side of the toes. Open the big toes like a book. Heart forward, shoulders back. Chin parallel to chest. Work the third eye onto your big toe or onto the mat in front of you. Use the elbows to press those knees out to the sides. Inhale, come all the way back up. Sweep the hands up towards the sky. Now moving into the rounded back variation. Again, interlock fingers. Tuck into the chin. Hollow the belly. Round forward. Elbows push into the shins. Pushing the low back towards the mat behind you. One more breath. Inhale, come all the way back up. Head comes up last. Take the left hand outside of that right knee. Push the right knee down. Right hand behind the back. Twist through Baddha Konasana. Back up through center. Hand sweep up. Right hand now outside of the left. Push the left knee down. Left hand behind the back. Back through center. If you have full lotus, half lotus, you're more than welcome to take that variation or moving into Sukhasana as we close our practice. Wow. Bring hands to heart. Close the eyes. Deepen the breath. Take this moment of stillness before you move into your day. Inhale, lift the heart to your intention. Exhale, bow the head. I lift my heart and I bow to you. Thank you for spending this morning with me, for being here with me. It is an honor and a privilege and one I am beyond grateful for. The light in me honors and bows to the light within you. Namaste. Seal your practice. Turn around. Lay down. Finding your Shavasana. I'll be turning off your cameras. I have a few minutes. Bye, Darlene. Bye, Tara. Bye, Amy. Thank you. I have a few minutes, so I'm going to keep the music on so that you have it throughout. Remembering that these few moments are pivotal. They can set the energy for the day.